Nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Well, that was a disappointment. This is New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Yeah, the Giants get whacked by the Commanders, 21-6. Yowza. I mean, we took a look at this from a different perspective for the New York Football Giants, and we kind of figured that this game was going to go certain different ways. And I actually had the Giants winning this game because I thought the defense would kind of surprise the Commanders. I thought the trio of Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and Abdul Carter were going to be a difference maker, going to be a factor, that the Giants weren't going to be stupid enough to use Abdul Carter in a spy mode. Well, they did. And I also thought that the Giants offense would show some more life under the parameters of our old friend Russell Wilson. But Russell Wilson at times just didn't have time to throw. The guy, you've got to feel bad for him. It's the pressure that he was under at times was unrelenting. I remember how people kept telling me this was the old commander. The Commander's defense is old. Well, the old men stepped up and put a shellacking on the New York Giants, 21-6. There wasn't much offense. We are lucky the Commanders didn't finish this game 35-6 because of the fact that they shot themselves in the foot numerous times with bad and stupid penalties. Jaden Daniels at times missed wide receivers by maybe like 3-4 inches. That could have been huge gains. This game was really never in doubt. The Giants dominated at points in time. The time of possession, there was just nothing that they could do to punch through that Commanders defense. And like I said, this offense for Washington, if Jaden Daniels keeps doing this, is going to be something special. We take a look at the fact that we had 3 sacks early. Abdul Carter got a half a sack. I'm not gonna say anything about Abdul Carter yet, but he is not a full-time player. If you watched him at times on this field, we've said this before, he is not a guy you can have on the field 60, 70, 80% of the snaps because Washington took advantage at times of Abdul Carter being on the field, either running at him or just running the opposite direction. And with his 3 tackles, 1 solo, and his half a sack, I'm not, like I said, it wasn't a dominating performance. If the Giants were smart, and actually they couldn't really, they probably kind of lost their game plan when Micah McFadden went down. But Abdul Carter, teams are going to take advantage when Abdul Carter's on the field. Teams are going to attack him with the run. And I said this during the live stream. Teams are going to go after him. They are not going to shy away from him. And then when you leave him in the middle of the field to spy Jaden Daniels is going to rip apart this Giant zone, which he did at times. Like I said, the Commanders kept this score closer than the Giants defense did. That's just the way it is. And the inability to even generate any type of running game outside of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, 8 carries, 44 yards, led the team. You had 10 carries for 24 yards for Tyrone Tracy and a fumble. To me, that was a fumble. To me, he turned and was heading upfield when the ball popped out. But like I said, we caught a break there, which is great. Devin Singletary with 3 for 9. Cam Scatterbo 2 for 3 for negative. 2 for -3 for negative 1.5. I think he learned quickly, even after that 1 reception, that, you're going to put your head down, but you're going to run into a bunch of other guys. You are not going to bowl people over like you did at Arizona State. Theo Johnson as a starting tight end is a joke. 3 targets, 2 drops. 2 first down drops as well. The offense was stymied because of the fact that what did Washington do? You just double team Malik Neighbors, who still had 5 catches for 71 yards. In 12 targets. You just double team Malik Neighbors. And then you let Wan'Dale Robinson get his 5 yards in a cloud of dust on 6 receptions for 55 yards, a total of 8 targets. His longest reception was 20. So if you take out that 20, he had 5 receptions for 30 yards. Darius Slayton was a no-show. He only had 1 target for 0. And this was not, I don't want to hear shit about starting Jackson Dart. You can't start that shit now. Please stop. Please, before you go on Twitter and say something stupid, don't do it. Because it's the first game of the season. You are playing against a team that was a couple plays away from making the Super Bowl last year. So it's not like you got beat by Jacksonville. Russell Wilson, 17 for 37 for 168. Like I said, only sacked twice, but the guy had no time to throw. The Giants at one point in time gave up a sack on a 4-man rush. And it wasn't even like Russell Wilson held onto the ball too long. It was just the fact that the 4-man rush got there quite expediently. This offense, I know we're talking about the boy wonder in Kafka and Brian Dable, the genius of the offensive coordinator. I have not seen an NFL-style offense out of these guys since the 3 years they've been here. The 3 freaking years that they've been here, I have yet to see an NFL-style offense. You kept telling you didn't have a quarterback. Kept telling you don't have a running back. Kept telling you don't have wide receivers. You go out and get all these things. You don't have an offensive line. You go out and get all these things, and you still do not. You still underperform. Defensively, Bobby Okereke with 16 tackles. Paulson Adebo, 7 tackles as well. 1 pass defense. Holland had 1 pass. Holland got burned a couple times. Brian Burns looked good early going against the rookie. Then he just disappeared. Kayvon Thibodeau was pretty much a no-show. No-show was always. Cordell Flott, man. I loved it because someone posted on Twitter, look at that Cordell Flott play in the first drive. Yeah, then he went on and gave up 33 yards and 17 yards, and they finally decided to put in Banks. Oh, it's aggravating that the way this team plays. It's just aggravating. And it's aggravating to watch this team play. Graham Gano, once again, the total offense, 2 for 2. He had that nice 55-yard that just snuck in underneath the bar. The defense 32 carries, 220 yards, 6.9, 2 touchdowns. Longest run of the day was 42. It's simple. And I kept telling everyone on the stream how easy it is to defeat the Giants, how simple it is to defeat the Giants defense. You run at them. You continuously continue to run off tackle because neither Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, or Abdul Carter have the ability to set the edge. Brian Burns can go after the quarterback. That's what you should use him for. You should use Abdul Carter on third downs, and you should take Kayvon Thibodeau and put him on a bus. You give up 220 yards on 32 carries against the team that got rid of their best rusher. They got rid of Brian Johnson, or whatever the fuck his name was. They got rid of him. Jaden Daniels, 19 for 30 for 233, 1 touchdown, 3 sacks, no turnovers. He looked good. He missed a couple passes. If he makes a couple passes here and there, like I said, this game is 35-6. If they didn't get stupid at the end of the game, Washington, the score is 24-6. Feel bad for the people that I told to go on FanDuel, the number 1 sports book. Take that 6.5 points. FanDuel is everything you want to use. You need to go place a bet. Go to FanDuel, number 1 sports book in America, FanDuel.com. They do everything. You could do fantasy football. You could do horse racing. You can do slots. You could do all this stuff. Go to FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com, number 1 sports book in America. But if you took a look at this team and just saw that defense, you kind of knew it was going to be. And like I said, this zone, oh my God. I shouldn't be up this set. I should not be up this upset week 1. The Shane Bowen zone has got to go, for the love of God. Get rid of this zone. You have players who are not built to play this style of defense. Like I said, there was the big Zach Ertz play that got called back. Jaden Daniels missed Deebo Samuels at one time by a fingernail. If he puts it in a little bit closer, that was another touchdown. For the love of God, the zone doesn't work. And please, let's not have 3 guys on the field that do the same thing. And Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeau. Let's not have that. Let's be smarter than that. But I don't know if we are smarter than that, which really kind of pisses me off. Because you go through the whole offseason, you go through the whole draft, you go through everything else, and then you look at this team and you say, this is the same shit I saw when we won 3 games. I can't tell you there was any type of massive improvement from the 3-win season, from the 6-win season. I can't tell you that. And we are going to have our hands full in Dallas. especially the way Dak Prescott played against Philadelphia. If Dak plays the way he played against Philadelphia, against the Giants, we're going to lose that game 35-10. There is no and then you try to get creative on like 4th and short, and you run the stupidest plays. I've said this before. Be a methodical offense. Play action. Use your strength. Use your strengths in your 2 running backs and Tyrone Tracy, which we still don't know what he is yet, and Devin Singletary. Matriculate the ball down the field, set up the play action, and go to Neighbors, because Neighbors was gassed at the end of this game. You could see it. But there is still no. We brought in 2 guys that are supposed to be fucking offensive geniuses, and I have not seen an NFL offense in starting on year 4. And what Pickens and CeeDee Lamb is going to do this secondary if you play this soft shit zone? Oh dear Lord. Because Tyler Nubin, Paulson Adebo and Banks they're just not built for this zone. And like I said, you still have the same problem. You have 2 defensive ends and potentially a linebacker who can't set the edge against the fucking run when you go off tackle. We have been screaming about this since the last era of Joe Judge and that Cleveland practice. Nothing has changed in 5 seasons. And stop the shit with Wan'Dale Robinson, please. And Wan'Dale Robinson is the cockiest little son of a bitch I ever saw, because it's like, Wan'Dale, yeah, you got 6 catches, 55, but you know what it is? It's scoreboard, motherfucker. Do what you need to do. You're not getting down the field. You're not catching the big plays. You had the quietest 90-catch reception season I have ever seen in NFL history, because you barely even I don't even think you cracked 700 yards. And if our safeties and linebackers cannot cover a 470-year-old Zach Ertz, this is going to be a long fucking season. Oh, we're going to do a live stream tomorrow, because I'm going to have to talk about this after. I got to go have a drink and relax. So make sure you stay tuned. This is Tim's New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC, and we'll see you on Monday. And I'm out of here.